the girl who was not supposed to survive. The arena was never quiet. It echoed with screams, metal crashing, and alien roars. But today, something strange had happened. The crowd was silent. Every eye watched one small figure standing in the middle of the blood-soaked ground. She was human. Her name was Kara, but no one in the arena cared about names. They just called her the girl. No one expected her to last even 10 minutes. She had no armor, no weapons. She was small, weak, or so they thought. The first time she entered the arena, the aliens laughed. She was thrown into a pit with a creature 3 times her size. It had 4 arms and a face full of fangs. Kara had only her hands and her fear. But fear made her fast. She dodged, rolled, climbed up the creature's back, and broke its neck using the chain meant to bind her. The crowd went quiet. Then, for the first time in arena history, they cheered. For a human. Now, many fights later, she stood surrounded by broken bodies. She breathed heavily, blood dripping from her face, and not all of it hers. Around her, alien champions lay defeated. Monsters with skin like steel. Warriors with blades for arms. All dead. High above, the alien lords watched with cold eyes. One of them leaned forward and said, "She shouldn't have survived this." But she did. In the shadows behind the gates of the arena, someone else watched too, a man. He was dirty, thin, and weak, a human. He wasn't a fighter. He worked in the alien labs, cleaning machines and sorting parts. He didn't even know Kara. But today, as he saw her standing tall in the arena, something inside him changed. He whispered to himself, "She's one of us?" Kara didn't smile. She didn't wave to the crowd. She only stared at the alien, guards coming toward her. Her fight was not over. She knew this was not freedom. It was a trick, a test. They wanted to see how far a human could go before breaking. But Kara had already broken and rebuilt herself stronger. When the guards came, she didn't fight. She let them chain her again. She didn't speak. She was thinking, always thinking. Later, they threw her into a dark cell, cold, wet, alone. But that night, something strange happened. A small door opened in the wall. Not the main gate, a hidden door. And through it crawled the same man, the worker who had watched her. He looked scared. His hands shook. I saw what you did. I think I can help you escape." Kara looked at him without blinking. "Why?" "I don't know. Maybe I'm tired of seeing humans die. Maybe I believe you can do something no one else can." She stared for a long moment, then nodded once. "Fine, but we don't escape yet. First you show me the labs, the control rooms, everything." "Why?" She leaned forward. Her voice was calm. "Because we're not just running. We're going to burn this place down." He couldn't believe what he was hearing, but something in her eyes told him she wasn't joking. That night, the worker brought her scraps, food, wires, sharp metal pieces. Every night she asked questions. Where are the ships? How many guards? What times do they change shifts? And every night the man thought, she's planning something big. What he didn't know, what no one knew, was that Kara had not come to the arena by accident. Months ago, she had let herself be captured. Earth had fallen. The alien empires had taken everything. Kara had watched her family die. She had seen humans sold like animals, and she had sworn one thing: I will make them fear us. So she came to the arena, to learn, to fight, to become something the aliens would never forget. And now her real mission was about to begin. Why is she protecting me? The worker's name was Jalen. He had survived this long by being invisible, keeping his head down, following orders, and never asking questions. In a galaxy where humans were bought and sold, invisibility was safety. But now his life was in Kara's hands. It all started the night of the riot. Guards were distracted. An explosion rocked the lower tunnels of the arena complex. Some said it was a fuel line. Others whispered it was sabotage. In the middle of the chaos, Kara escaped, and she didn't run alone. Jalen was there, dragged by the wrist, barely keeping up with her. "Why me?" he shouted as they raced down smoke-filled corridors, alarms screaming in every direction. She didn't answer. He almost fell. She caught him, pulled him to his feet. "Come on," she said. "You're important." Important? Him? He was nothing, just a janitor, a tech slave. But she kept him alive, like she knew something he didn't. They ran through tunnels where dead bodies still burned. They crossed a power grid walkway where drones shot at them from the air. Kara grabbed a live wire, yanked it from the wall, and used it to fry the nearest drone. Sparks lit her face like lightning. Jalen stared at her. "You're not just a fighter," he said, breathing hard. "You're something else." She gave him a sharp look. "You don't know the half of it." They didn't stop until they reached an abandoned cargo bay hidden under the bones of a crashed alien ship. For hours, Kara said nothing. She sharpened stolen blades and watched the entrance. Jalen sat in the corner, coughing, cold, and confused. "Why are you protecting me?" he asked finally, his voice small in the silence. Kara didn't look at him. "Because someone told me to." He frowned. "Who?" She paused, then said quietly, "You did." 12 weeks earlier, Kara was in the arena cell, freshly wounded, her back torn open from a plasma whip. That night, an alien technician came to test a new neural chip on her. He brought a human assistant, thin, tired-looking, carrying a small medical kit. That assistant was Jalen. He didn't look her in the eyes. He barely spoke, but as he cleaned her wounds, his hand slipped something into her palm. A micro data crystal. No one saw it, not even the alien technician. Later, Kara activated it using a hidden code. The recording was blurry, old, broken in places, but it was Jalen's voice. "If this message is still playing, then it means I didn't make it. Or maybe I don't remember sending it, but if you're seeing this, Kara, then you need to know the data is in me. My blood. My cells. I hid the key inside myself." She had watched it 5 times, and every time his voice ended the same way. "Don't let them take me, not again." Now in the dark cargo bay, Kara stared at the man in front of her. Jalen didn't remember the message. He had no idea what she was talking about. But she was sure of one thing. He had done something before the mind wipe. Something big. Something dangerous. And the aliens wanted him erased or reprogrammed. That meant he mattered. "What's inside me?" he asked, voice shaking. "I don't know yet," Kara replied. "But it scares them. And that's good." As they rested, alien bounty notices began spreading across the outer colonies. A message flashed on black market screens, spaceport terminals, and even inside gambling dens. Wanted. 2 humans. 1 female. Arena escapee. 1 male. Unregistered. Tech worker. Dead or alive. High reward. Hunters started moving. Bloodhounds. Bio-trackers. A species called the Ferex, known for collecting human skulls, activated their long-range ships. The hunt had begun. Meanwhile, Jalen started noticing strange things. He didn't get sick, he healed faster than others. Machines responded to his touch, sometimes unlocking without him doing anything. He dreamed in numbers. He saw flashes of star charts in his sleep. He told Kara. She listened carefully, then said, "They didn't just wipe your memory, they used you for something experimental." "What if I'm dangerous?" he whispered. "Good," she said. "That means they should be afraid of us." One night, they hid inside the belly of a dead cargo ship drifting in the wastelands of space. Kara checked her weapons. Jalen checked. The strange device growing under his skin, a glowing mark that wasn't there a week ago. Outside, a signal beacon activated. Too late to stop it. Kara whispered, "They've found us." Jalen looked at her with wide eyes. "What do we do?" She drew her blade. We fight. Escape through the bone market. The bone market wasn't a place. It was a threat whispered in back alleys of spaceports and across prison floors. A lawless trade world built into the corpse of an ancient creature the size of a small moon. No maps, no rules, and no mercy. If something existed in the galaxy, stolen tech, slaves, poison, weapons, or souls, it could be bought in the bone market. Kara and Jalen arrived in silence. Their ship was stolen. Its engines barely held together by melted wires and Kara's stubborn will. The stars outside flickered with search drones. Bounty hunters closed in every hour. They had no safe place left in known space, and so they went where no one sane would follow, into the mouth of the bone market. The docking gate opened like a jaw unhinging. Bones of the ancient creature stretched for miles, lit with neon lights and toxic gas. Ships hovered between its ribs. Gun towers tracked every move. Pirates watched from above, eyes hungry. "This place," Jalen whispered, "it's alive." "No," Kara said. "It's worse. It's business." Inside, smells of oil, blood, and alien rot filled the air. Shouts in a dozen languages rang out. Some sold weapons, some sold cloned bodies. Others offered memories pulled from dying brains. They needed supplies, codes, and most of all, a way to disappear. But something else was happening. Jalen was changing. Since the escape, the glowing mark on his arm had grown brighter. At night, he heard whispers in languages he never knew. And now in the bone market, machines reacted to him. Doors opened without being touched. Scanners gave false readings when he passed. "Kara," he said as they walked past a rusted tech stall. "Something's wrong with me." She looked at him, her eyes were calm but sharp. "Nothing's wrong," she said. "Something's waking up." They entered a hidden part of the market called the vein, a black tunnel carved into the creature's spinal bone, where secrets were traded like coins. There they met a creature named Skith, a tech witch with glass skin and 20 eyes. "You want vanish codes?" Skith hissed, coiling its long neck around them. "You need blood payment." "We don't have blood to give," Kara said. Skith smiled. "Then maybe data." Before Kara could answer, Jalen stepped forward. "What if I give you something no one else has?" He didn't know what he was doing. He only felt pulled. Skith touched his arm and gasped. "This is forbidden tech," it whispered. "Bio-coded encryption, spliced with memory locks. From the old war, from before the silence." "What does that mean?" Jalen asked. Skith stared at Kara. "It means this human is not just wanted, he's priceless." Then Skith leaned in and said one more thing. "And he's dangerous. To everyone." They got what they needed: false IDs, encrypted routes, and a stolen map that led to a hidden star system. But Skith warned them. "The ones hunting you, they've already reached the market." And it was true. The Ferex were there. Bounty hunters from the edge worlds. They didn't talk. They didn't negotiate. They didn't stop. They just collected. Kara and Jalen didn't even make it to their ship. 3 Ferex ambushed them in the lower rib tunnels. One had a whip made of plasma. Another had arms like swords. The third never moved. It just floated and tracked Jalen's pulse. "You can run," one of them said in a flat, robotic voice. "But he belongs to us now." Kara didn't answer. She moved. She spun low, used the bones for cover, and struck fast. She didn't fight to kill. She fought to buy time. Jalen, heart pounding, ran down a tunnel, past a fuel leak, through a crack in the rib bones, and into a room filled with old war relics. There, a forgotten pod opened at his touch. It wasn't supposed to work, but it knew him. Inside was a memory drive, marked with the same symbol on his arm. He grabbed. It had pulsed in his hand. Outside, Kara was bleeding, surrounded, trapped. Jalen returned, not with a weapon, but with a message. He held the memory drive high. "You want me? Come and take it." The floating Ferex moved closer. But the moment, It scanned the drive, it shut down. All of them did. The lights flickered. The entire section of the bone market powered down, like something ancient had been disturbed. Kara stared at Jalen. "What did you do?" "I don't know," he said, trembling. "But I think I just shut them off." As they escaped, through the underbelly of the market, the memory drive still pulsing in Jalen's hand, Kara whispered, "That thing you're holding, it's not just memory." She looked up at him. "It's a key, and now the whole galaxy wants it. The secret in my blood." The stolen ship drifted silently through a dead zone of space, a stretch of cold black between star systems where even light seemed afraid to travel. Inside, Jalen sat alone, staring at the memory drive pulsing in his hands. The small device felt warm, like it was alive. Like it knew it was home. Kara stood by the control panel, watching him from the shadows. Her arms were crossed. Her blade, blood-stained and worn, rested against the wall. For the first time, she looked unsure. "We shouldn't have taken that thing," she said quietly. Jalen didn't look at her. "Why?" "You saw what it did. I shut down 3 bounty hunters without even touching them." She stepped forward. "You didn't shut them down, Jalen. The drive did. You just activated it." Jalen turned to her, frustration rising. "Then what's happening to me, Kara? I can hear machines whisper. I see codes in my dreams. I touch alien tech and it answers me." Kara looked at him, then slowly sat down across from him. "You're not a normal human," she said. "Not anymore." Later, they landed on a frozen moon hidden in the shadows of a dying star. It wasn't marked on any map. Kara had found it years ago. An old rebel safe house built under the ice, long abandoned. They entered through a broken hatch and stepped into a metal chamber covered in frost. The silence was heavy. Old human flags, faded and torn, hung on the walls. Jalen sat near a heater, rubbing his hands together. "Tell me everything." Kara hesitated. Then she began. Years ago, before Earth fell, there was a last project. Secret. Hidden from even the government. A human weapon that didn't destroy, it infected. A code. Pure data. Designed to unlock alien systems, override them, control them, but it needed a carrier. She looked at him. "You." Jalen stared in disbelief. "No," he said. "I was just a worker, a tech assistant." "No," she said. "That's who they made you become after they wiped your memories." In the back of the safe house, Kara opened a hidden crate. Inside were documents, devices, and one final file, marked with a symbol identical to the one glowing under Jalen's skin. The file played a video. In it, a younger Jalen stood before a group of scientists. He was stronger, more confident. And he was speaking. "If this works, I won't remember any of it. But if someone finds this, know that I volunteered. I wanted to be the weapon they didn't see coming. Not a bomb, a backdoor." The file glitched, then faded. Jalen's heart raced. "I did this to myself?" Kara nodded. "You're the key to the old code, to a virus that can take down the alien network. Not with guns, with control." Jalen stood up, angry and confused. "Then why didn't we go straight to Earth resistance? Why are we hiding?" Kara's voice dropped to a whisper. "Because there's no Earth resistance left. They hunted every rebel down, every human leader. You're the last." Suddenly the ground shook. Ice cracked. A low rumble filled the air. Kara jumped to her, feet blade ready. "We've been tracked." "How?" Jalen shouted. Kara looked at the memory drive, still glowing. "They're not tracking you. They're tracking it." Outside, alien ships descended like wolves from the clouds. Not bounty hunters this time, but the core authority. The same empire that ruled the galaxy. They didn't take prisoners. Inside the safe house, alarm screamed. "We run!" Jalen yelled. Kara grabbed the memory drive and threw it at him. "No, you run." "What?" He froze. She pointed at the rear tunnel. "Take the north shaft. Follow the heat line. It leads to a hidden launch pod. It'll take you to the black orbit above the system. Jalen shook his head. Not without you. Kara grabbed him by the collar, eyes burning. You're not just a man anymore, Jalen. You're the last move in a dead game. You have something in your blood no weapon can match. If they get you, it's over. Not just for humans, for everyone. Outside, the core troops landed. Jalen backed away. Don't die, Kara smirked. That's not part of the plan. Jalen ran through the tunnels. Behind him, the sound of explosions echoed. Kara's scream rang out once and then silence. He found the launch pod, slammed the button, and shot into orbit. From above, he watched the moon go dark. He didn't know if she survived. He didn't even know if he would. But as he looked at the drivium, now sinking its code into his skin, he felt something else. Not fear. Purpose. Hours later, Jalen stood alone in a drifting cargo pod, watching stars fade behind him. His blood shimmered with data. His mind ached with voices. Then, through static, a signal came in. A voice. Familiar. Wounded. Kara's voice. Jalen. They didn't kill me, but they took something worse. They're unlocking your code, and if they do, they'll control everything. Then, silence. Jalen gripped the metal edge of the console. They're not unlocking anything, he said. I'm coming for you. The betrayal. The cargo pod drifted for 2 more days before a signal found him. It was human, or close enough. Jalen stood by the console, staring at the blinking light. He hadn't eaten in hours. The memory drive had fully merged with his body. The symbol on his skin now pulsed with every heartbeat. He touched the panel. The voice that came through made him fall to his knees. Kara? No, the voice replied. But we're friends of hers. We're with what's left of the Earth Coalition. We've been watching you, Jalen. Jalen froze. His voice was dry. You knew about me? We knew someone survived the Code Seed project. We didn't know it was you. But Kara did. That's why she sent you. The signal paused. Then a new voice came on. Softer. Familiar. My name is Eris. I was your friend. Before you were rewritten. Jalen didn't remember her. But when her ship docked and she stepped into his pod, something in his chest stirred. She was tall. Her face weathered from battle, but her eyes were warm. You don't remember me, Eris said gently. No, Jalen admitted. But I want to. She reached out and touched the mark on his arm. This was supposed to change everything, and now you're the last one who carries it. She took him aboard their ship, the Bastion, a Ghost-class stealth cruiser built during the fall of Earth. It still bore the scars of war. Half, its systems damaged, engines scarred, hull stitched together with alien parts. Inside, other humans waited. Survivors, fighters, scavengers, but not soldiers. They looked at Jalen like he was a myth, a relic, a weapon. Over the next few days, Eris taught him to read the code flowing through his mind. Not just numbers and memories, images, instructions. Commands that could interface with alien systems, rewrite ships, disable security, even control entire networks. You were supposed to be dropped behind enemy lines, she explained. You'd walk into their servers and your blood would unlock every door, but the war ended before they could use you. Earth fell. You disappeared. Kara found you and woke you up. Jalen stared at the data screen. And now I'm what? A key to a locked door no one remembers? No, Eris said. Now you're a chance to take something back, but something felt wrong. Jalen noticed the crew avoided speaking openly. Eris locked the command deck when she wasn't around, and sometimes, late at night, he'd hear whispers behind closed doors. Is he stable yet? Can we extract the drive? Does he need to be conscious for it? He started watching, listening. One night, he followed Eris to the lower deck. She met with a strange figure, someone not fully human, augmented, pale skin, mechanical veins, eyes that glowed like alien tech. I told you he'd trust me, Eris said. He must. The transfer must happen before the code adapts further. What about Kara? She's irrelevant now. Jalen's blood went cold. Later, when he confronted Eris, she didn't deny it. "I'm sorry," she said. "But we need that code. You don't even know how dangerous it is inside you. You think the aliens want to kill you? No, they want to use you, same as we do." "I'm not a weapon," Jalen whispered. "No," she said. "You're worse. You're both sides' weapon, which means you don't get to choose who you are anymore." Then she activated the stun field. He woke up in a lab, strapped to a table, machines humming, wires digging into his veins. The drive inside his body screaming, but someone was there. A figure stepped out of the shadows, beaten, limping, her left eye bruised but burning with fury. "Kara, you trusted the wrong people," she said. Jalen couldn't speak, his voice locked by the restraints. Kara looked at the machines. "They were trying to crack you open like a machine. But you're not just code. You're you." She lifted her blade. "And no one owns you, not them, not me." In seconds, the room was chaos. Kara moved like lightning, disabling guards, cutting wires. She shut down the restraint field and pulled Jalen to his feet. "We don't run anymore," she said. "We take control." Jalen coughed, still weak. "What about Eris? She betrayed you, but she's not the real enemy, just another survivor doing what she thinks is right." They escaped down the burning corridors of the bastion, alarms screaming, but just before they reached the hangar, Eris appeared, bleeding, furious, armed. "I gave you safety," she shouted. "I gave you answers." "You gave me a cage," Jalen said, standing between her and Kara, "and I'm done being locked up." Eris aimed her weapon, but Kara didn't move. Jalen stepped forward. "You want the code? Come and take it." His eyes glowed now, and the bastion's systems, lights, screens, engines, began to shift. "React, obey. Jalen," Eris whispered, backing away. Too late. He didn't attack. He just disappeared, taking Kara with him, through a data stream only he could see. They reappeared in deep space, aboard a derelict station long thought lost. Kara fell to her knees, gasping. Jalen stood tall, no longer just a worker, no longer just a code carrier. He was something new, and now he had a new goal. "I'm done running," he said. "Now we find out who built this code, and what it's really for." Into the arena again. The arena was never supposed to open, again. Not after what Kara did. Not after she broke the unbreakable, tore through monsters, and walked out alive. But it was open now. Bigger. Colder. Louder. And this time, the crowd didn't come to see her fight. They came to see him. It started with a trap. Jalen and Kara had spent days in the ruins of the lost station, an ancient human research lab buried in deep space. There, Jalen discovered something terrifying. He wasn't the only one. Before the fall of Earth, there were others, other humans encoded with the same virus code. Test subjects, children, failed prototypes. Most didn't survive. One did. Codename Spectre. The records were corrupted, but one thing was clear. Spectre didn't run. He submitted. Betrayed. Gave himself willingly to the alien core authority. Why? Because he believed humans weren't meant to fight back. "They made us weak," he once said in a recording. "And now they will make us useful." Kara wanted to destroy the station, wipe the files, burn everything, but Jalen made a different choice. "No," he said. "This isn't just my past. It's our enemy's future. If Spectre's still alive, I need to face him," and he got his wish. 2 days later, a transmission reached them. Open, unencrypted, impossible to ignore. It was Spectre, human, calm, pale like a ghost, eyes like ice. "You want answers, Jalen?" he said. "Come earn them, one-on-one, in the place you were built for." Jalen stared at the screen. Kara said nothing. But she knew. They were going back. Back to the arena. They arrived in chains, just like the first time. Captured? No, they allowed it. The core authority welcomed them, like prized beasts. The arena had changed. It now floated above a gas giant, held together by magnetic fields and old bones. Alien elites sat in glass towers above, sipping liquid flame, watching the pre-show bloodbath. And when Jalen stepped into the cage, the entire structure roared a human. In the pit. Again. Kara watched from a high cell. She wasn't allowed to. Fight, not this time. Let him die first, Spectre had said. Then we'll see if the girl is still fire, or just smoke. Jalen stood in the center of the arena. Alone. The gate opened. Not a beast, not a machine. Spectre. Same age, same blood, but twisted. Enhanced. His skin flickered with artificial code. His arms pulsed with cybernetic veins. I was the first, Spectre said, circling him. But you were the perfect one. The stable version. I'm not yours, Jalen said. No. Spectre smiled. You're theirs. The fight began with no signal, no bell, just pain. Spectre moved like lightning. His punches sent shockwaves. Jalen blocked with instinct, and with something more. The arena itself responded to him. Doors opened, weapons dropped. Lights flickered as his code touched the system, but Spectre was faster, stronger. He taunted as he struck. You're not a warrior. You're a key. Keys don't fight. They unlock what others control. Jalen dropped to his knees, blood in his mouth. He could hear Kara screaming from above, her voice drowned by the roaring crowd. And then, silence. Inside his mind, the memory drive pulsed and then unlocked. A new voice spoke, not his own. Unit JA5, full access granted. Viral control online. Authority grid unlocked. He stood. Not just human anymore. Not just code. Something in between. He raised his hand, and the arena changed. The gates slammed shut. Weapons dropped from enemy guards. Lights exploded. Drones fell from the sky. And Spectre hesitated. What did you do? He growled. Jalen's voice was steady. Calm. Cold. I stopped being the key. I became the system. He moved faster than before, not with strength but control. He didn't punch Spectre. He rewrote him. Bit by bit, code by code. You don't get to control me anymore, he whispered, and with one final command he shut Spectre down. The crowd didn't cheer. They watched in stunned silence as Jalen looked up into the towers. He touched his arm, and every screen lit up with a message, in the core authority's own language. I am no one's property, not theirs, not yours. Humanity is not extinct. We are inside your systems. We are rewriting the rules. Panic. The elites ran. Ships powered up. But the arena was locked, under his control. He turned toward the highest cell. Kara stood there smiling. Proud. She mouthed one word. Now. He opened her gate from across the stadium. She dropped into the pit with him. Together they walked through the dust and smoke, and the arena, once the stage of human suffering, fell silent, broken, defeated. Far away in the shadows of a forgotten planet, a new figure watched the broadcast. She was human, young, wounded, and her eyes were glowing with the same code Jalen carried. She touched her neck and whispered, the code was never meant for one. She fights for us all. The arena was no more. Where once millions cheered for human blood, now only smoke remained. Dead systems, fried circuits, a battlefield turned graveyard. But this wasn't the end. It was only the signal. The moment Jalen shut down the arena, the virus, the one living inside his blood, spread. Quiet, invisible, fast. It didn't destroy. It woke up. Old satellites blinked online. Buried rebel codes rose like ghosts and scattered across the galaxy. Humans in hiding heard his voice. We're not extinct. We're inside their systems. We are the virus they created. And now we are rewriting the galaxy. Far away. On a dark moon in a forgotten system, a girl watched the broadcast. Her eyes glowed, not like Kara's with fire, or Jalen's with data, but something new, evolving. She was barely 16, born in the mines, raised among silence and cruelty. But when she saw Jalen speak, she stood up. Her caretaker whispered, "What is it?" The girl's voice was calm. "It's beginning." On board the Ashlight, an ancient warship adrift, Kara leaned against the wall, arms crossed, watching Jalen through the glass window. He was floating in the med pod now, healing. What had once been code in his blood had spread into every cell, bonding. With him, not like a weapon, but like a second soul. Kara's body still carried scars, from the arena, from the betrayals, from years of losing. But now, for the first time, she wasn't alone in the fight. A doctor approached, human, quiet, terrified. His vitals are stable, but the code isn't just adapting, it's calling. Calling who? Kara asked. The doctor looked pale. Not who. What? Deep within core authority space, an emergency meeting was underway. The Core Council, a group of ancient, powerful aliens that ruled half the known galaxy, sat around a blazing orb of data. The signal from the arena had reached every planet, every terminal, every ship. One council member hissed, "It was supposed to be sealed. He wasn't meant to survive." Another replied, "We sealed one carrier. We never expected two." A third leaned forward, "And now, there may be more." The data orb pulsed. A prediction algorithm ran, then failed. Error. Unknown human signal overriding all networks. The council stood. They had ruled for 1,000 years, but now they were afraid. Jalen woke. The med pod hissed open. Kara stepped forward. He looked different, not cold, not glowing, just human again. But with a weight in his eyes, knowledge, memory, power. "What happens now?" she asked. Jalen stood slowly. "They'll come." "To kill you?" He shook his head. "To kill us." They didn't wait. Instead, they sent a message. Not hidden, not encrypted, not a threat, a challenge. Jalen stood in front of a live feed that reached thousands of systems. Kara stood beside him. "You built your empire on the myth that humans were weak, disposable, broken. But we are not myths. We survived your arenas. We survived your science. We survived you. Now we're not just surviving. We're fighting back. And this time, she fights for all of us." He turned to Kara, and she nodded. The first wave came within days. Alien fleets darkened the stars. Each ship carried antivirus weapons. Each warrior trained to end the code. But none of them expected what came next. Not war, not fire, not weapons uprising. Humans across the systems, forgotten, hidden, enslaved, rose. Not with swords, but with control. Old machines turned against their masters. Mining bots became weapons. Security walls dropped in every city. And above it all, Kara led the charge. She wasn't faster, she wasn't stronger, but she had something no one else did. Belief. And they followed her. Ex-prisoners, outlaws, children born in labs. They followed the girl who survived the arena. The one who never gave up. One final battle. The Core Authority sent their final weapon, an AI god machine known only as the Archon, a system designed to purge the virus once and for all. It was not alive. It could not feel. It did not lose. But it had never met Kara, and it had never seen what happens when human hope spreads like wildfire. Kara didn't fight it with guns. She walked into its core. Jalen walked beside her. Together they spoke one line. "You created us to follow, but we choose to lead." The Archon froze, and then it obeyed. Years later, a statue stands where the arena once was, not of Jalen, not of Kara, but of a girl standing tall with her hand stretched out, not in victory, but in protection. Children touch the stone and ask, "Who is she?" And the old ones answer, "She was the first to survive, she was the last to fall, and she was the reason we still stand." Somewhere, deep in space, a new child is born. She doesn't cry. She hums a soft, gentle tone, half human, half code, and her mother whispers, "You don't have to fight alone because once she fought for us all."